understand his importance in his environment, I think we'd all agree he's actually super cool. That animal, of course, we're talking about is the American alligator. That's right, this is an American alligator. And as most of you probably know, alligators live in and around the water. If you look at his feet, you can see he has some webbing in between his toes. That's for swimming, for paddling through the water. But when he really wants to move, he doesn't use his feet. He uses his powerful tail, which he can use not only for swimming, but for defense. Go ahead, you can show him. I'm not going to be mad. One time. No? Yeah, he's going to wait till I'm not paying attention, and then he's just going to haul off and smack me with that tail. By the way, if he does just haul off and hit me, don't hold it in. I know it's funny. Feel free to laugh. I'll be the guy standing up here trying not to cry, but you can laugh. It's okay. Besides, if I'm crying, it's just crocodile tears anyway. But of course, being an alligator, this guy, you can imagine him in the water with his eyes and nose above the surface, looking around, breathing, enjoying life. He sees something he wants, so he takes a deep breath and then closes his nostrils, so he can go underwater without getting water in his nose. But not only does he close his nostrils, he also closes his ears. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, alligators have ears. Right behind his eyes are his ears, but he has flaps of skin that seal shut so that he doesn't get any water in his ears. And then he puts on his goggles. Yes, they have built-in goggles. You see, alligators have an eyelid like you and I, an upper and a lower, but they also have a clear eyelid that goes from the front to the back. So when he closes that clear eyelid underwater, he can see where he's going, but he doesn't get water in his eyes, and it works out well. And all that works together to help him be what we call an apex predator. That means that it is the top of the food chain. It eats whatever it wants, and nothing eats him. And that's all possible because of that big alligator smile. You see him smiling right now as I'm allowing him to peruse the buffet for this afternoon? You're on the wrong side of that, I just realized. Anyway, if you look closely, you can actually see some of his teeth. He actually has 80 sharp teeth in that mouth. That's right, 80 sharp teeth in that mouth. And that mouth has the third strongest bite of any animal on the planet. That's right, only 2 animals on Earth can bite harder than an American alligator. Now you're wondering what the other 2 are, right? Yeah. Do some research. Google is your friend. Yes. No, I'll tell you. Second place goes to his cousin, the saltwater crocodile of Australia, with the second strongest bite force of any animal on the planet. And the animal with the strongest bite, pound for pound, of any animal on Earth is the chihuahua. No. That is incorrect. It is not the chihuahua. That is the animal with the most annoying sound of any creature on the planet. The animal with the strongest bite is actually the Nile crocodile of Africa. That means that the American alligator can, in fact, bite harder than a pit bull. It can bite harder than a hyena. It can bite harder than a hippopotamus. And it has 80 sharp teeth in that mouth. But as you can see, he's not a bloodthirsty creature out to attack all of us humans and to wipe us off the face of the earth. No. Alligators are actually very calm, especially for being crocodilians, and they're actually very smart. You see, this alligator is only 6 years old, but right now, out in the wild, he's going to be eating things like, fish and frogs, turtles, snakes, rats, birds, things like that. But when he gets to be 80 years old, and he gets to be 12, 13, 14, even 15 feet long, he's actually going to eat bigger things. Not only is he going to eat bigger things like bigger fish, bigger turtles, bigger snakes, but also raccoons, opossums, even deer. Now, of course, I don't feed him all those things in captivity. Normally, I'm feeding him, good stuff like chicken, or he really enjoys the Freedom Dogs, the hot dogs from Freedom Dogs over on the other side of the livestock pen. You might want to check those out yourself. You might like them. But this is an alligator. And the reason I mention that is because people always want to know, what's the difference between a gator and a croc? Well, the difference between an alligator and a crocodile doesn't matter. If you come across one in the wild, leave it alone. It doesn't matter if it's an alligator or a crocodile. Don't mess with it, okay? Yeah. But for some reason, people are obsessed with the difference. Now, of course, there's some very obvious differences that we already know, like one you see later, the other you see after a while. I get that. But physically, it's really hard to explain the difference without seeing them side by side. So, let's do it. This is the gator. Let me get...
Oh, wow.
The croc. You see, the croc looks a lot different
The croc.
from the gator. Side by side, pretty easy to tell them apart, right? yes. Now you know it's time to go back in there. He knows the show. Remember I told you they're smart? He knows, hey, we're done with the croc bit. It's time for me to go back in there. And of course he wants in there. But that means it's time to say goodbye. And there's only one correct way to say goodbye to an alligator, so let's do it together. See you later.